The Real Annabelle, the chilling true story of the 1970 Hartford haunting. The face of Innocence. The world knows her as a grotesque porcelain figure with a fractured face and a haunting stare, a cinematic monster that has fueled nightmares for over a decade. But the true story of Annabelle does not begin in a dollmaker's workshop or a satanic ritual. It begins with something far more ordinary. It begins with a Raggedy Ann doll, the birthday gift. In 1970, a mother walked into a hobby store to find a birthday present for her daughter, Donna. Donna was 28 years old, a nursing student living in a modest apartment in Hartford, Connecticut, with her roommate and fellow nurse, Angie. The gift was a mass-produced Raggedy Ann doll, a floppy, yarn-haired toy with a painted smile. For the first few days, Annabelle was nothing more than a decoration on Donna's bed. But soon, the atmosphere in the apartment began to shift. It started with subtle movements. Donna would leave the doll on her bed before work, only to find it on the living room couch when she returned. Sometimes, the doll would be found with its legs crossed or its arms folded, positions that its soft, stuffed body should not have been able to maintain. The messages and the blood, the manifestations grew more brazen. Donna and Angie began finding small scraps of parchment paper scattered throughout the apartment. On them, in a shaky, childlike hand, were written messages, "Help us and help Lou." The most chilling part, there was no parchment paper in the house. One evening, Donna returned home to find the doll sitting on her bed just as she had left it. But as she leaned in, she noticed something that turned her blood to ice. There were drops of a red, liquid substance on the doll's hands and chest. It looked like blood. Terrified and desperate for answers, the two nurses contacted a medium. The invitation. During the seance, the medium claimed to make contact with a spirit named Annabelle Higgins. According to the medium, Annabelle was a 7-year-old girl who had lived on the property long before the apartment complex was built. Her body had been found in the very field where the building now stood. The spirit told the medium that she felt safe with Donna and Angie. She just wanted to be loved. Moved by pity for the lonely child, Donna gave the spirit permission to inhabit the doll. It was a gesture of compassion, but in the world of the supernatural, it was a fatal mistake. They had given the entity an invitation. The Escalation. Lou, a friend of the nurses and Angie's fiancé, had never liked the doll. He sensed a cold, malevolent energy radiating from it. His fears were soon realized. One night, Lou woke from a deep sleep, paralyzed. He watched in horror as Annabelle glided up his leg and onto his chest. He felt her small, cloth hands tighten around his throat, strangling him until he blacked out. A few days later, Lou and Angie heard heavy footsteps coming from Donna's empty bedroom. When Lou burst inside, the room was vacant, save for the doll sitting in a corner. As he approached it, he felt a sudden wave of heat and a sensation of primal dread. Before he could react, he was struck by an invisible force. When he ripped open his shirt, he found 7 deep, burning scratches on his chest, 3 vertical and 4 horizontal. Within 48 hours, the wounds vanished completely, leaving no trace of their existence. The demonologists, realizing they were dealing with something far beyond their understanding, the students contacted the church, who in turn reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed, a church-recognized demonologist, and Lorraine, a gifted clairvoyant, arrived at the apartment and immediately sensed the truth. "The doll is not possessed," Ed told them. "Inanimate objects cannot be possessed. They are manipulated." The story of Annabelle Higgins was a lie, a demonic mask used to exploit the nurse's empathy. The entity was not a lonely child. It was an inhuman spirit, a demon. Its goal was not to live in a doll, but to break down the residents' psychological defenses until one of them was weak enough to be possessed. The glass cage. The Warrens took the doll to remove the conduit from the apartment. On the drive home, the entity fought back. Ed's car suffered multiple mechanical failures. The power steering and brakes failed at every dangerous curve. It was only after Ed doused the doll in holy water that the car regained its power. Back at their home in Monroe, Connecticut, the doll's activity continued. It was found levitating in Ed's office and appearing in different rooms of the house. To contain the malice, Ed commissioned a custom-built case made of oak and consecrated glass. He placed the doll inside and pinned a warning to the front. Warning, inhuman entity, do not touch. The Price of Mockery. The case became the centerpiece of the Warrens Occult Museum, but the entity remained dangerous. One young man, visiting the museum on a motorcycle, decided to mock the doll. He banged on the glass, laughing and daring the demon to scratch him. Ed ordered him to leave immediately. Less than 3 miles away, the young man lost control of his motorcycle on a smooth stretch of road and slammed into a tree. He died instantly. His girlfriend, who survived, claimed that right before the crash, they heard a high-pitched laughter echoing over the engine. The Legacy of Annabelle. Today, the real Annabelle remains locked away. She is not the porcelain figure of Hollywood fame, but a simple Raggedy Ann doll with a painted smile. She serves as a chilling reminder that evil often hides behind a mask of innocence, waiting for an invitation. The Warrens are gone, and the museum is closed, but the legend endures. So, if you have an old doll tucked away in your closet, perhaps you should check on it, just to make sure it's exactly where you left it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave your comment down below. Thanks for watching.